way to a very interesting interview. Something I wanted to do for a long time. And I'm here on top of the side. I'm on my way to meet a cuddle therapist. Yes, you heard that right. Yeah, we've heard of all kinds of different therapies. So we have physical therapy, psychiatric therapy, and what the heck, this is New York City. Even psychiatrists have their own shrinks. So I'm here to meet a cuddle therapist. There was this website called Cuddlist.com. I went in there and sent a request to interview a cuddler, and there was this lady. I think her name was Ella. She was very excited to give me an interview and talk to me about this new rage in town of cuddle therapy. So I'm on my way, walking to her apartment right now, and I have done quite a bit of research about it, and it's hard to believe that there are a lot of people who run a good business by offering cuddling services. Yes, snuggling, those warm, feel-goody things where you hug people and make them feel good. And so I'm here to learn about what cuddling is all about and what it takes to become a cuddler and who are the people who make use of those services. So in a couple of minutes I'm going to be there with cuddle therapist Ella. Let's see how that goes.
Anand, hey, come on in. I'm ready.
So where are you from, Ella?
I'm from Brazil. See, because I love collecting vintage things. From antiques to hats from the 1920s and costumes. So it's quite a lively apartment here in the living room.
Hi Ella, how are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Thanks for inviting me to this wonderful apartment of yours. As a business or as a therapeutic practice, what exactly is cuddling?
So cuddling is platonic, non-sexual, therapeutic touch. Consensual therapeutic touch. That basically explains what we're doing.
How did you get into cuddling?
I heard about it a few years ago, and I was in Virginia at the time, so there wasn't, much of a cuddle movement going on over there. So when I got back to New York, I decided to get involved with it. But as soon as I heard that was even a thing, I was like, I'm in. This sounds like a great idea. I come from a very affectionate family, so we grow up with a lot of touching, a lot of hugs, a lot of affection. So it has always been in my family.
When we think of cuddling, we normally associate it with children, or parents and children, or dogs. Right, so we'd love to cuddle on the couch with a dog or with our kids, and but this is cuddling with total strangers, right? So how did that come about, cuddling with strangers?
I think more and more we are, especially in America, and especially in places like New York, you're surrounded by people, but yet you're disconnected, and we all need touch. Touch is something that you don't only need when you're a baby, when you're, a child. Even though we associate cuddling a lot of times with children, we understand why children need affection, yet we lack understanding as to why adults need affection. We still do need affection. So there are many, many benefits associated with cuddling, with touch, right? One of them is that when you are touched, it increases oxytocin, so which is the love hormone. You feel more calm. It can boost your immune system. It helps with anxiety. It helps you to sleep better. It helps you to feel connected to another person. I would see a change over time in their ability to deal with their, the everyday life and the stress that they were dealing with.
I read on the website that it's anywhere from $60 to $80 an hour. Is that accurate?
Yes, most cuddlists they're charging $80.
$80 an hour.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
and then lately a couple have raised their prices, but the average price I would say it's $80 an hour.
And okay, now when we talk of cuddling, walk me through the steps. Now, if somebody wants to use your cuddling services, what's the first thing? Okay, they'll look up the website and they find you somehow, and then what happens? How do you start the conversation about it?
So the first thing you do when you want to find a cuddlist is you go to cuddlist.com and then you go to check which cuddlists are in your area. There are cuddlists all over the country. So you check who's in your city. You select the cuddlist you want. You're going to read our code of conduct. You're going to send them a request, which is a questionnaire that you're going to answer about what you want and what time you want your session. Have you read and agreed to the code of conduct? So once you've done all that, you send the request. Then I get the request and I write you an email with more explanations, a more thorough email, so you can understand what to expect when you get to my cuddle session. Once we do that, we exchange information. I give you a call, I talk to you on the phone, I do the screening to make sure that we're both on the same page and that your expectations meet my expectations, right? And that you're not coming here because you want a sexual service. This is not a dating service. So once I see that everything is fine, that you've passed the screening, then we schedule a session. One of the most common questions that I get during the screening process from men is, well, what happens if, I become aroused, or what happens if I want more? And that is why we have a very thorough code of conduct that deals with things like that. First of all, cuddling is with clothes on, so no one's going to take their clothes off. It's not going to get sexual. So if you come with that expectation, that's a client that's usually going to be that's not going to make it to the cuddle session, right? So if someone that already has that expectation, we suggest that they look for other kinds of services. But once you're in an intimate setting and you're cuddling in bed, of course things can arise in terms of desire, feelings, and that's all normal as long as you don't act on it. So that's what we tell our clients, that as long as you don't act on it, it is fine, to have desire.
So what would you do if a client gets aroused? How would you deal with it?
So what we usually do when that happens is we change positions. We try to minimize it, right? Instead of enhancing that, we're going to probably switch positions, talk about it a little bit, and just let things calm down a little bit. And that usually works.
Okay. Okay, you do the screening and you get all the right kind of people, everything is fine. But once they come in here and the cuddling begins and then they turn out to be total jerks, how do you deal with that? Well, how do you protect yourself from unwanted transgressions?
Once they have gone through the screening, everything seems fine, they get here and I feel like they're still pushing the boundaries. we cuddlists, we have the right to end the session at any time if things are not going well. If someone's pushing the boundaries too much and they're not really understanding, they're not respecting you, they're not understanding what you want, you can simply say, this is the end of our session. Like we're obviously not on the same page. It rarely ever happens. If we do a good job with screening ahead of time before the person gets here, usually the sessions, like I would say maybe 99% of the times, the sessions go great, and we don't have to deal with those kinds of problems. I have a wide range of clients, but a lot of them are usually men in their 40s and 50s. Many are in relationships where they are coming to me because the relationship lacks affection, touch, intimacy. But many other people come to me because they are dealing with anxiety, depression, they have just lost a parent, or they are not in a relationship and they are missing touch.
So tell me about your family. Is your family aware of this cuddling, and do they have any apprehensions about what you do?
I think all cuddlists, they have to, in the beginning, when they're beginning to do this work, they might, it might be sometimes a difficult conversation to have with friends and with family because they don't always understand what we're doing. There's still some stigma attached to it and some misunderstandings about what it is. So I think, to be honest, at first my parents thought it was a little bit strange that I was doing this, but now they completely understand. And especially because I have parents who work with holistic medicine, who are practitioners and who are working towards a cure and health. So they understand me wanting to do this work.
Is it true that most people who get into this line of work are already into some kind of contact work, as in therapeutic work? I read somewhere that another cuddlist is actually a physical therapist. People who have been in the massage or in the healing industry, in some kind of healing industry, they're the ones who mostly become cuddlists. Is that true?
Well, many do. I think you're right. We have several cuddlists who used to be massage therapists or are still massage therapists now, who have worked with different kinds of holistic medicine or energetic healing. But some don't. Some others are coming from a completely different place or different professions. I think the thing that we all have in common is empathy. We're all empathetic people, and we like to connect with others. We have an easy time connecting, hearing, understanding, listening. So I think that's what kind of connects us together.
So do you become friends with your clients, or do you keep it strictly business?
Well, I would say it's somewhere in between. I mean, I don't hang out with clients. I don't go out. We don't. It's not the same as. It's not dating. It's not a friendship. That does not mean that you don't develop friendships during the sessions. I mean, you get to know people pretty well. It is an intimate, thing, and a lot of times it's a safe space where the clients are really welcomed in a non-judgmental way, right? They feel comfortable with you. They're able to talk to you a lot of times about things that they've never talked to anyone else about. So you definitely create a connection that is strong and that is real. But that is not the same thing as, we're not going to the movies together and things like that. We have a good amount of male cuddlists, but they are also getting mostly male clients. So the problem is that we're not getting female clients. And that, I think, there could be a number of reasons. I think women are sometimes more cautious. Sometimes also women, they take care of everyone else before they take care of themselves. So they're maybe not going to be as willing as men to go look for some, some self-care that they need. So it could be many different reasons, but we would definitely love to have more women.
People have different reservations about touch, and not everybody is comfortable with touch. And a lot of people, it could be their first time. Like me, I've never really hired a professional cuddling services. So how would you kind of go about with someone who is interested to know more, but is not really comfortable with touch per se, and is not quite sure how to react?
Okay, so I'm going to walk you through what is the beginning of our sessions. Okay, so you just came in, you went and you changed. Then we sit down, we're going to have a little conversation about consent, because I want to make sure that you are completely comfortable.
I'm not changed, I'm in my street clothes, is that okay?
That is fine, because we're not going to do the whole cuddle session, we're just going to do the beginning.
Okay.
The beginning part.
A demonstration, okay.
Yes. So what I want to know from you is, are there areas that you don't like, areas that you feel uncomfortable, or things that you don't want me to do, and also the things that you do like. Now, a lot of times when I ask someone, how would you like to begin a session, or what feels good to you, a lot of people will say, I don't know, like I have no idea. But we have to have an agreement. This is the most important. You need to always let me know.
Can I say something like, I'm sore from my last workout and I like a nice massage on my back?
Well, no, because because if you we don't really provide massage.
Okay.
So if you do want a massage therapy, that's
Okay.
another
Okay.
therapist. That's another service. But what I want to know from you is what feels comfortable, what does not feel comfortable, and you have to always let me know. So we have an agreement in the beginning of the session, which
Okay.
is I will always let you know what feels good, what doesn't. Anything that feels uncomfortable, I have to stop and I have to let you know. It could be something as simple as my arm is falling asleep, we need to change positions.
Okay.
And you need to do the same, okay? So let's do a quick exercise. I'm going to ask if I could touch you in a certain way, and you're going to actually say no,
Okay.
okay? So can I touch your shoulder?
No.
Thank you for taking care of yourself. I'm not going to question you why you don't like me to touch this part of yourself. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm not going to, I'm not going to say
Okay.
that. You're just going to let me know
Okay.
what is okay with you and what is not okay.
Okay.
Now you can say yes. Can I touch your hand?
Yes.
Okay. So these are just little exercises that we also do when we have cuddle parties, and they all have one thing in common, which is for you to feel comfortable with this idea of consent.
Okay.
No one is going to simply grab you. No one's going to go and invade your space and do something that feels uncomfortable.
Okay.
Right? You control the session, so you let me know what you feel comfortable with and what you don't.
Okay. Okay. So, what are the typical cuddling ways or poses, or how do you what kind of, you told me somebody goes for 10 hours of cuddling. What exactly? How exactly do you cuddle?
So it's not necessarily that there is a typical cuddling position. There are so many different things that we can do. We can be here on the sofa. We can sit together. We can hold hands. We can hug. We can lay down on the bed. We can spoon. We can caress each other. And again, as long as it's not getting sexual, we could do a wide range of things. Usually we want the client to tell us what they want for the session. If they don't know what they want, that is fine too. I mean, then we'll direct the session in a certain way. But with time, and as we get to know each other, I'm going to know the things that you like, I'm going to know your preferences. And it becomes very fluid. I mean, in the beginning we have this little conversation, but throughout the session, it's not, I'm not going to be stopping you every 5 seconds to ask you questions. It's going to become something intuitive, something, you know, very fluid and organic.
Ella, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just look us up, go to cuddlist.com and book a session with a cuddlist.
Okay, we'll do that. You heard that, cuddlist.com. That's where you need to go. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back with you soon with more stories.